anything away from Tower Dive Gaming. They played incredibly well. They were behind the entire time, but they were keeping things even. And they do have a shot at this. It's not like they're a long ways out of here. They're
At this point, mentally, it's definitely a very big hill to climb. GG for both teams. This is always when, if you look even on the LCS, they always seem to have their most interesting game in the first round. Then the mentality takes over. In this scenario, you had Tower Dive Gaming use the entire day of going 3-0 to ramp up their mentality. They're really ready to go. They're ready to get their revenge after being kicked out into the losers bracket in the first round by this exact team of Broken Shard. Now they want to turn that one around. And this game, they needed that. They tried everything to do that. It was a close game. At the end of the day, Broken Stick's going to run away with this one again. Now they're going to have to fight their own heads. They got to get out of their heads. They've got to just say, we're going to still win this game. We're going to rally how we were playing earlier today. We're going to use Quantum Theory and Dynamic Theory's amazing domination overall of the bot lane throughout all of today and use that to win a couple of games, because they've got, after this, 2 in a row. Then they need to win another best of 3 just to pull away today. It is a very big hill to climb.
Yeah, no, it is a massive hill, but if there's a team in this tournament that could do it, it would be the defending champions. They've been to the top of the mountain. They know what it takes to get there. I wouldn't be surprised if they could do it again. But as you said, they do have to make sure that they shrug that last game off. It was just put it to game 1 again. Make it a best of 1. Every game from here on out is a best of 1. Just play it. First time you face this team.
If Tower Dive Gaming has that one strat they've not tried yet, that little bit of an idea they've been trying to work on, trying to make sure that they could use it later on when the enemy was least inspecting it, it is time to pull that out. This needs to be their last effort. Show them everything you've got. Really come back and conquer in this game, and you will have earned the right to keep on trying to win today's tournament. It's all what it's going to be about. We're on day 2 here. This is the very finals on game 2. I am excited to try and see whether or not Tower Dive Gaming turn this one around. It looks like they will be on red side once again. I guess they lost that rock, paper, scissors matchup.
Actually, they lost the rock, paper, scissors matchup, but they were going to be blue side. They decided just in the lobby there that they wanted red side, actually.
Okay.
Because they get the choice for the second game. So they want the red side.
Fan of the red side. I think they've been on red all 4 games today.
I believe so. They were on the red side for both of their games against Epic Memers. I know that much.
Yeah.
So, they have the red side strats. They are not channeling their Hotshot GG and CLG. They brought the red side strats. They don't have any blue side strats. So if we see them on blue side, that might spell trouble.
Well, let's see them right now using those red side strats in the champion select. We got Cinder going away, taking that out of the possibilities for that burst. Lucian going to be taken away from Samuel. Nar once again going to be taken away from Wang Sung. He's not getting that today. Rumble going to be taken away from Canadian, as now Rammus going to be banned out, which would have been in the hands of What Is Love, but he's still got his Lee Sin. I wonder what he's going to go for if that gets picked away first by Atherin.
And Thresh is still on the table. Interesting thing is
J4
SBS
taken away from Atherin.
choose to ban out the Thresh, and they're not even picking it up, so they're leaving it wide open. They want Quantic on that Thresh, I think.
Kha'Zix instantly locked in. Last time that was banned out. The Thresh is not going to be picked up. Dynamic Theory looking like he wants to lock in Quantum Theory's Nami here. I have to agree with this decision. It looks like TJ is a lot more comfortable in the Nami, as I said earlier on. Earlier in the tournament, his Nami play was godlike. Taking that away and locking in the Nami for Quantum Theory, which he's done so well on for the rest of the day. Though his Thresh is amazing, this is going to take away the Nami from TJ, force him onto the Thresh, and we're going to have a bit of a reverse bot lane matchup. We also do have, once again, that burst with his Syndra taken away. He's going to go for the Orianna, though this time he's got to focus up, never miss any of those shockwaves. As we saw last time, he missed one, and it was dodged by both Samuel and, I believe, Wygrid, which opened up inhibitors down and nearly another inhibitor turret on top of that. We do have Atherin locking in the Corki for Samuel, and we have TJ locking in his Janna. Corki Janna, an interesting lane to go up against Dynamic Theory and Quantum Theory. They're going to have to play that one next to perfectly, because Nami is the champion to turn that game into their favor.
Yeah, and looking at the Jinx this time, so going for a bit more late game power in the AD carry than the Corki. We saw the Corki do really well in the early and mid game, but just couldn't pull out enough damage in the later games. So a bit more risky of a pick would be Jinx, because she does not have a very good escape unless she kills someone. And even then, it's still not a great escape. But Nami and Jinx would be a very strong lane. If a bubble lands, you put the traps right underneath. They're not moving for a good 5 seconds. And Jinx can do a lot of damage in 5 seconds. So.
Absolutely, those auto attacks become faster and faster, and it really is an effective bot lane. We have not seen Dynamic Theory run Jinx yet so far this game. We actually had the Lee Sin also being locked in for What Is Love. He's done so well on it so far. It looks like he didn't want to lock it in this round, though. I'm wondering if he felt a little bit shaky after last game. He did do well in it, but it didn't seem to be as effective. Quantic Theory, he's going to be on the Nami with Jinx. I haven't seen that matchup, as I said. I don't know how that's going to go against the Corki Janna. Corki seems like he really wants those shields, going to help him defend himself. So Quantic Theory is going to have to be on top of his game with those bubbles. We now have Canadian once again looking to hover over this Galio. It was such an amazing pickup earlier on.
I think the Maokai is a better choice there with this team.
We do not see what Wang Seng is going to be playing. You've seen him nothing but the Darius all day. Canadian now hovering over that Shogath. Talk about the king of unorthodox top lane pools. He is exercising that once again as the Jace is going to go into Wygrid's hands. Such an amazing bit of Jace play against Epic Memers in their first game of today.
Yeah, no, that's going to be really interesting. And it's the Jace versus Orianna matchup that Ygritte had just amazing time against. Like, he absolutely dominated that lane. Jax against the Cho'Gath would be an interesting one.
I'm trying to remember the last time I saw Jax versus Cho'Gath lane.
No, this one is literally like... I've seen it a couple times in the last season because I played Cho'Gath top against Jax a couple times, but...
Okay. I don't think that's really something that happens all that much.
No,
you see it here because it was locked in. I'm kind of interested in this composition coming out Tower Dive Gaming. I mean, they've got a decent 4v4 fight. If they want to send Wingston to this constantly split push on that Jax, using those flops on those towers, they're going to have the Jinx, the Lee Sin, the Orianna, and the Nami, which is a great 4-man composition. A lot of damage from Jinx, a lot of displacement from Lee Sin, great CC from Nami, and a lot of damage of AoE coming from Orianna. That's a great 4v4. It might even be able to dominate over top of the Jace Corki to going together into that other side of the 4-man group. I'd like to see them use a split push strat if they get anything on the Wingsing in the early game.
I think that would probably be their best bet here. A lot of safety coming out for Jinx there with Nami and Orianna both picked up. Orianna's shield is really strong.
Quantic Theory, the last second change from Exhaust over to Ignite. He wants it. He wants blood, and it's going to be the blood of Janna and Corki. This Theory bot lane, which we've seen so far to just be the dominating bot lane. They have done so well so far. Just going in all the time. They're winning constant amount of games. I haven't think I've seen them lose a lane yet. Even though they've lost the last game against Samuel, they won the lane. They lost the game, but they won the lane.
They absolutely dominated that lane, and that was an impressive thing. Samuel and TJ will definitely have their hands full. I'm not completely convinced by the Janna Corki combination.
I gotta agree with you there.
Corki, the big thing about Janna is that shield gives you that AD bonus. Corki doesn't exactly scale the best off of AD. For an AD carry, at least for an AD carry, he's probably the worst scaling off of AD. Because his ultimate and his Q both scale off of AP. I believe his Gatling gun as well. His ultimate does have an AD ratio on it, but that's not till level 6. So you're only getting the bonus on the auto attacks, whereas if you go to Jinx and Janna, then it's a lot better because the Zap still has the AD ratio, I believe. Yeah. Pretty sure it does. But yeah, no, Jonna Corky isn't exactly what I'd expect. I would have liked to see the Thresh instead. I would have liked to see Samuel and TJ pick up that bot lane that
the Thresh would have been
they
so
got
much
crushed
better.
by last game.
Yeah. I mean, looking at it now, it's really weird to see TJ go for the Janna. It's not going to be that helpful in his composition when you look at those 4v4 scenarios, which they're going to be put in if Jax decides to go complete split push against Cho'Gath. Janna's not going to be that useful. She's great for disengage, but you don't want to disengage when you have to be aggressing because Jax is going to be the one pushing into Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath will not be pushed into Jax. He does have a decent amount of wave clear, but it's just not consistent and it's completely reliable on mana.
I think what we may see if we do end up getting to a later game where we got that split push Jax going incredibly hard, we'll see Ygritte go up to the top lane, go into whatever lane Jax is in with his Jace and try to use that matchup more so than the Cho'Gath matchup against Jax, because I don't think in the late game Cho'Gath has any chance against Jax really.
I've got to agree with you, there would be a decent play to make, but at the same time then you'll just have Jax TP in, make the 5v4, push that one through, and with the superior 4-man group still going to be belonging in the side of red side before Jax even joins, creating a 5v4 out of that would be devastating for Broken Sticks. Broken Shard is not in this game.
No,
Complexity's old jungler.
He's in EU.
He's in EU now? Didn't he quit though?
Huh?
Didn't he quit like whatever team he was coaching?
He's doing something in EU somewhere. He's mostly doing talk shows with Richard Lewis right now, but
what?
He's on the First Blood talk show.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the main hosts with it's him, Richard Lewis, and Nintendo X.
I gotta be the only one who's really cheering for Fusion Gaming to not get into the LCS. Please, somebody take them out. I do not want this train wreck going towards the LCS.
I want Mac Noon in the LCS.
Oh my god. Mac Noon, Chaos, Nintendo X. I was like the forerunner of the hate train for Nintendo X when he was on Coast. I blamed him for everything. Shifter's one of my favorite players. Zion Spartan's still my favorite players. He's on CLG now. I'm a huge CLG fan because of Zion Spartan. So I was hating so huge on Nintendo X for so long when he was on Coach. So I can't have him back. I can't handle that. If he does good in a game, I'd be like, yeah, he did really good, bastard. I can't do it.
Well, Team Fusion has one of the best chances to make it into the LCS, but I think, at least. But anyways, that's a different tournament altogether. We're in an Edmonton tournament only. Amateurs all over the place. And this could be the final match.
It very well could be. We're looking to see whether or not Broken Sticks is going to be able to close this game out. So far, we've been able to predict most of the game's outcomes and how they're going to go. I gotta say, I'm still thinking this one's going over to Broken Sticks. They've got the mental advantage. They've done so well so far in this tournament, and that's my prediction 100% here. I don't think Tower Dive Gaming is going to be able to rally this one through. I mean, good luck to them. They certainly have the advantage in the bot lane, so that's where I would look for them to really pull through and use that Theory bot to just dominate.
If Tower Dive Gaming is to win this game, it's all going to be about the mid lane.
Minions have spawned.
They have to shut down Ygritte on that Jace. They cannot let him get rolling. He is absolutely dominant when he has a really good game on Jace. We've seen that already. So it's all about whether Orianna can survive this lane against Jace.
I've got to actually answer one of the questions in Twitch chat. I completely disagree. Blue team does not have the 4v4 advantage. You do have a decent amount of power in Jace and Corky, but really Jan is just there to completely disengage. Jinx is going to have so much power, and they can lock them down so well using the Lee Sin kick as well as the immense amount of Nami, of the CC from Nami. She is going to be an insane advantage for them, whereas Janna is just going to be able to disengage. You're not winning that 4v4 if you're just running away from it, especially when Jax is the one split pushing.
I kind of agree with you, and at the same time I disagree, because the big thing about the 4v4 for SBS will be landing that Corky poke and the Jace poke before any engages can come out from.
That is true. They're going to have to very definitely go right now.
Because they've got extremely strong poke between the gated shock blast and the missiles from Corky. So if they can land some of that early, then they will have a huge advantage coming into the fights, right? So it's really all about
it's about the poke. It's really a poke four. It's a poke composition of 4 versus an engage composition of 4. But if they force Canda to constantly run away and they just try and cut it out with the poke, then Jax is going to start getting free objectives. It would be interesting to see how that would exactly play out. So that's definitely one thing you got to be watching for the late game. But right now, here in the lane phase, Jinx has got to perform and stay alive in this one because she's going to be such a huge part of that later on in the game. And Corki, especially in the hands of Samuel, is going to do a lot.
Yeah, and actually we're seeing that verse doing fairly well so far against Jace in the mid lane.
Let me make my matchups here.
Yeah. Managing to keep up with the damage, that's something that we didn't see Nundo do earlier today. And the top lane is just going to be back and forth for a while. That's going to be incredibly boring to watch. There's not a lot of kill pressure up there until the junglers come around. So, yeah, all of the focus should be for this game on the mid lane and the bot lane. Because history has shown that the Theory bot lane dominates.
Yes.
And history has also shown that the Ygritte Jace dominates Orianna's.
Well, Ygritte is just a dominant force on that Jace. If he can do what he did against Nundo, I'm scared for the fate of Tower Dive Gaming. They're going to basically just get completely zoned out here. Now, Canadian is one person I've got to watch as well. I don't expect the Cho'Gath to do well in this matchup, but that's just an assumption because I don't see much of Cho'Gath. If Canadian can play Cho'Gath top like he plays Akali top, it's going to work really well. But here in the mid lane, Yager's going to get hit out by Lee Sin. The second activation is going to be the Q, is going to be enough to get the first blood, and that's where you want to focus. Great job by What Is Love. He's going to focus down onto the Jace, which is who is going to be such a dominating force throughout the entire game. Excuse me, if he keeps going. Here in top side, we got Wang Sang. He's underneath the tower, gets it knocked up, and there goes in by Athram. He manages to jump out of it. Wang Sang is going to survive. Canadian's not going down, but it's going to be an execute.
Yeah, great play. Perfect gank in the mid lane. And that burst is proving that he can play Orianna, actually. Like, he is doing really well so far against...
Oh, Dynamic Theory taken quite low with the exhaust on the Ignite is Ori on the Samuel, but he's going to fairly well win that trade. Dynamic Theory forced to back Quantum Theory, though. Quantic Theory is just looking to try and stay aggressive. He isn't going to be able to do much more than stay within experience range. Normally you see supports back along with, but he does not want to risk that much tower damage.
And Jinx
Dynamic Theory wow, I'm surprised by that. Gonna have to really rely on the sustain from Nami to keep them in this bot lane. They've got to start re-aggressing, or else Corki Janna is gonna take over control for a while.
And actually, that's not a bad thing. Dynamic Theory had to stay in this lane.
That's true.
Because he could not let that wave hit tower and lose all of those minions. Because he's going to lose the early and mid game to Corki. That's pretty much a given. He just needs to stay in it so that he can stay in with CS and stay in it so that he can get those first couple items and become an absolute monster that Jinx can be. He will outscale Samuel's Corki.
Oh, Samuel gonna almost get hit by the Flame Chompers, so close. One more step by Jinx that would have been locked down. The Valkyrie gonna get him away safely, though. Great bubble there once again by Quantic Theory.
Yeah, and Orianna in the mid lane still keeping up very well with that Jace. He's not having the same kind of success as he did against...
Another bubble, followed up very quickly. Oh, but the flash away by Samuel will keep him alive. What a great attempt to follow up by What Is Love. The bubbles are hitting hard. Quantic Theory not letting off the gas pedal. And this is why they stayed. They did such a great job of healing up and re-aggressing while on low mana. Now Jinx can catch up and farm if they keep this aggression as well. They're going to have to avoid the Kha'Zix gank because he is down here and he is in an unwarded bush. The support sensors should be tingling right now because this is an obvious counter gank. Here in the top lane, though, we have Wang Sang going in on Canadian. He's kicking quite low, though, as Canadian is at level 6. He will back off. And Kha'Zix is still in this bottom lane. Here's the flash by TJ, looking to get a slow on as the bubble is going to completely miss, but the disengage still does occur.
Yeah, no, really well flashed there by Dynamic.
Canadian going to get stunned up by Wensen. Now he wants to keep going in on this one, but Canadian does still have that. Oh, he's going to use it. A kill for Canadian. You cannot just do that to a Cho'Gath.
And What Is Love not quite hitting that, not quite hitting the Q there. Decides not to hurt Kha'Zix.
Wygrid trying to go in on that burst. He is down a level. He'll dodge out the Q. Command attack not going to land, and it will be enough for... I don't think he hit that
no,
shot
he missed
either.
that shock blast.
So close.
It was incredibly close. If that hit, that could have easily been the dead Orianna. But without it hitting...
all he needed.
Yeah.
Oh! Dynamic Theory. He knew he'd get somebody. Picks up on the TJ. And that's going to be enough to actually secure them the enemy red buff. Kha'Zix trying to turn around on this one, but he's actually going to cancel his back.
For this.
He's only level 5. What Is Love does not want to go into the tower. He did not have his Dragon's Rage. It would have been hard to get that full amount of damage down and get out in a timely fashion. Samuel is looking to counteract this one as What Is Love is being engaged on by Wygrid, as here he is going quite low. It will go over to a Dynamic Theory, who at this point is getting quite fed. 2-0-0 with a CS lead on a Jinx in the hands of Dynamic Theory is going to be a danger for Broken Sticks.
He's got 2,500 gold back. This is going to be a massive buy for him. Pickaxe and BF Sword picked up. He's got his best friend, and What Is Love finally found the Q onto Kha'Zix. He's been hunting for it for a while. He finally found it. So, yeah, BF Sword, Pickaxe, and a couple potions picked up. And Corky's got the Fade first, which isn't a bad idea. But, yeah, no, he's going to be losing out quite a bit in damage by quite a bit here. Now, because Jinx is starting to roll, and...
Well, the biggest deal is how much Dynamic Theory and Quantic Theory can do with this lead. They do have a fed Jinx, but Corky is yet to die. Samuel going with the Phage instead of Sheen first means his burst is not as prevalent. He's just going to try and survive in the lane and CS up. But if you can stop that, send Lee Sin down there, get a good Dragon's Raid, even if it's a little bit sideways, just so they can finish off that kill. Kill Corky one time, send him back, keep his CS low, delay his Sheen, delay in the Trinity Force. You're going to have more of a time period for Jinx to get as much gold as possible, get some crit in her pocket, and delay the damage increases on Corky from those gigantic item spikes.
Yeah, no, that's what they need to do, and I think they'll do a pretty good job of it. What Is Love? Looks like he's hanging around the bottom side again. He's taking his white camp there. Might be coming in for a gank right away. We'll have to see. The big story, though, is that mid lane, where that burst, Orianna is winning that lane very hard right now. Up 10 plus CS right now, and has the assist on Jace. That is a big show of strength right now. If Yeager can't win that lane, that's going to delay the power of SBS's composition by quite a long time, actually.
Quantic Theory is alone in that ball, and it looks like they want to make the rotation for Tower Dive Gaming to get this Dragon. They do have the advantage because they do know there's two people top side, which is an easy rotation. Trade the Dragon for the other top turret. They've got to stop before they get any damage really onto this inner turret, or they need to engage in the bot lane. They got to make a choice. So they're going to back off and help out Jax. Wingstone now is going to use his stun underneath the turret, but he won't find anybody as the pause comes through, and we will be put into a little bit of a waiting period. I'm going to have to change it so that we cannot see any of the wards on the map. Just going to cover everything up there. Alrighty, well hopefully this is going to be a short pause. We do not know what is happening just yet. We will let you know as soon as we do. Let's have a quick talk about that kind of a trade. We have the Dragon basically given up so they can get some pressure onto the top lane. Is that really worth it? Right now you've got Jax sitting at 70 CS, 0-1-0. He's not doing too well. You have dominance over that lane. Why not try and assert yourself both in that lane single-handedly as well as in the bottom side with 4 instead of going and putting 2 in the investment in top to completely shut down Jax as much as possible? The DC is actually on Orianna, and I'll let you elaborate on that point.
I'm just going to go back here quickly and look at what led up to that Dragon here. I'm trying to figure out all the positionings on the map. So while they were doing Dragon here, I got it paused on my screen. So we got the 2 in the top lane. They took the tower. They didn't start Dragon until that tower was started up. So,
well, they did have there was a good bit of hiding there by Wygrid to make sure he didn't show himself very early.
Yeah,
it made so there was a little bit delay on that. There was a bit of a contest as the game's about to resume. Switch back over here. The game is now resumed as Wingsling is getting tower dive by 2. He's going to get eaten up by the Cho'Gath, and he will go down very quickly. He is not having a very good time up in the top lane this game, as TJ just barely dodging out of the bubble, as the Q from Samuel is not going to land.
I'm going to have to watch your stream for a second because mine's broken.
TJ now is being a little bit aggressive, but he does have Atherin with him. The Monsoon is going to knock Dynamic Theory off to the side, but here comes the reaction. Canadian, as well as What Is Love, is coming in on this one. But Canadian will just focus down What Is Love. He's going to go down. The Theory bot is going to get away from this one. And that is going to be the entire story. The counteract to the counteract. There was a gank from Atherin, which was counter-ganked very quickly by What Is Love, which was then counter-TP by Canadian, and now another TP going to be forced through, which is going to be from Wang Sang. But is he really going to be that useful at 0-2-0 with only a Bilgewater on Jax sitting at 12 minutes? He's having a rough time.
He really is. So it's going to be up to Tower Dive Gaming to figure out some way to get the farm back onto this Jax here. And I don't think grouping up for a tower is how you do it.
Especially not with Canadian being able to just walk right up to Dynamic Theory, gets to flash away. He might just survive that red buff, and he will. He gets away with it as Wingsling now has to flash away from the knocker from Cho'Gath. They all dodge the Flame Chompers, but long gone is every member of Tower Dive Gaming.
Yeah, no, barely survived that. Very lucky for Dynamic Theory that the Cho'Gath Feast was down for that fight. And I mean, we were wondering who wins between this Jax and Cho'Gath, and so far, it's the Cho'Gath. The Cho'Gath has had great lane pressure. A really big level 6 mistake, I feel, by Wang Sang, trying to fight the Cho'Gath while he had his feast up. And I'm not quite sure what they can do to put him back in here, because Cho'Gath is a lot bigger right now.
At this point, he's just not in the game. Canadian's had his number this entire series. That Akali play was the perfect counter to his very strong Darius. He's not been getting his Gnar this entire time. It's been permaban against him this entire tournament. To now see him on Jax, another champion besides Darius, he's not very comfortable on. He wasn't feeling too sure of himself with Darius, having a few games where it didn't work out too well, as in the first one against Kawhi-chan, as well as in the first one against Canadian. He's just not really dominating this top lane. He's been a little bit lackluster for his team. You look at the rest of the group now, you have the Theory bot lane doing so insanely well for Tower Dive. They just dominate every single lane, but it's not ever turning into anything. They haven't shut down Corki. They haven't really even shut down Janna. They've just got a few kills. They're ahead in the lane. They can have the ability to possibly get Dragon control and Tower control, but it's not turning into that much global gold. They have a slight lead right now. They need to turn into more with this Fed Jinx.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to try and put some pressure down using Jinx on probably the mid tower. That seems like the most likely place that they can do it. Jax is getting his chance to split push finally up in the top lane, so, you know, he might be able to get some good CS, get a little bit of gold. Might get the top tower. I don't know how healthy it is. Nah, Cho'Gath will be there in time to help that out, but
yeah, reasonably healthy tower up there on top lane. Wang Sun now is in level 9 up against a level 10. He's just not having a very good time at all. At this point, I would try and rotate him out of this. Send him to the bot lane, have Jinx go up towards top, make a rotation where he's going to be able to just free farm as much as possible. Maybe even if you let Corki get a little bit fed while doing that, and then try to shut the Cho'Gath down with Jinx. Just make sure she has some protection so she doesn't get almost eaten to death like she did last time there in that teleport to the bot lane by Canadian. Yeah. TJ right now clearing out these wards. Overall, despite the gold difference being in favor of Tower Dive Gaming, the game control seems to be in favor of Broken Sticks.
Yeah, it's another game where we see Tower Dive Gaming actually doing some really good team plays, but SBS is getting the towers on the map here. They're getting the solid objectives that aren't dragons. and they're taking advantages from it. They get the map pressure every time they take a tower, that they get extra wards down, they get to go a little bit further in. Like, they have a pink ward that's been sitting up in the top lane for a while now, I believe, up in their, up by that red buff.
What an amazing ward that is. When you take a look at that, that is a ward in which no jungle path directly crosses. It's a great push to have one in. Now, Quantic Theory has to use his wave to get Athlon off him, as there is a backup there from What Is Love. The Jinx Rocket can do a ton of damage on Athlon, who now has to back away, but it looks like there will be no kills in this contest. At least he can land this Q on Athlon, but it's not going to happen. Just short, as now Quantic Theory going to heal up and back off just a little bit, as here comes Wygrid, as well as that burst as well. Oh my goodness, What Is Love with a little bit of Slee syndrome there, gets caught out way too far forward. He'll go down. That burst just not able to get into the lane fast enough to back him up, and it will be one kill going over to Broken Sticks. Here on the far side of the wall, you do see Kha'Zix. He is still in the area, stalking around, as Janna's already back, so it's still 3v3. Up in the top lane, Wingsting trying to get his golems, but doesn't even have control of those, as Canadian just trying to do tons of damage on him. He's level 11, so he's got that level 2 gigantic ultimate, as Wygrid going to take a little bit of damage in that bush from the zap. Under the turret now is Wangsen, and he's going to be all alone. He's got to do his job of making sure Cho'Gath is not back. He's walking away right now. You've got to follow that. Try and keep him within distance, keep him in vision, because if he TPs to that bot lane fight, you're going to lose the dragon, you're going to lose several of your teammates, and you're not even going to get any pressure on the top lane. You've got to watch this one, Wangsen.
I honestly think they've just got to get...
And here comes the TP. There's nothing to stop him. Jax is not going to be in the area, so it has complete control for Broken Sticks, as they are just using their poke at a long range to keep everyone at a distance who is on the side of Tower Dive Gaming. Dynamic Theory forced to back right now. He's making that decision, as Wingsting has made his way down with the teleport as well. So it is currently a 4v5, as Dynamic Theory is not here. This is not known by Broken Sticks, though, so they have not started the dragon, as right now Nami trying to take onto the blue buff as Wingsting jumps over towards it, but control of the area 100% goes over to Broken Sticks, who are now, after receiving the invaded blue buff, they're going to go for this dragon free and clear. Nothing that What Is Love can do about it.
I honestly got a question why Tower Dive Gaming was fighting that. It's like I was saying last game. You wanted, or either last game or a couple games ago, it's one of those situations where you can just give it up. You've got the team later in the game that can win these fights. Don't try to take them when they have an advantage.
What Is Love trying to get away from this one with tons of damage, and the slows are coming through the back of him. What amazing damage from the W of Canadian. Here we have Dynamic Theory. He's going to do a lot to fire through with that rocket. No kills will be secured so far, though.
Yeah, no, SPS is really just waving their power around in front of Tower Dive Gaming, and there isn't a whole lot they can do. Jack's finally getting the tower out of the split push there. 2 towers picked up for a dragon, so that's actually not a bad trade there. And they only lost What Is Love in that fight, I believe, so overall, a good move to recover some lost ground there.
Wingston is going in with very low health onto Athlon, but it looks like he might be successful. Athlon going to leap away. It will allow Wingston to gain some control over this minion wave, but he has to back away. He's got the feeling that he might not be alone. Indeed, he is not, because here comes Canadian once again trying to get a little bit more of a munch on Honda Wingston. He's going to jump towards him, use the flash, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to juke away and then in towards him thanks to the knockup, but here comes What Is Love. He's going to slow down Canadian. The turnaround from Wingston is going to put him right in range of the ultimate. He tried to get the stun off. It did not work out whatsoever. What Is Love now forced to back off, as he is currently silenced. Here comes Dynamic Theory. Going to put down this Flame Charm. Is a little bit too shy, and the kill on the Canadian is not going to happen. Actually, right there, Monsoon going to save Lee Sin, as Dynamic Theory trying to regroup and get in on this one, but has to back away as Stanley does a ton of damage on the side. The power stun is going to be enough to allow the auto attack from Stanley to finish off Dynamic Theory, and now the game is completely in control of Broken Sticks.
Yeah, it's Tower Dive Gaming is fighting when they shouldn't. That's the key point to this game. Is Corki is finally at one of his largest spikes when he's got Trinity Force and Sorcerer Shoes. You don't want to be fighting a Corki when he has Trinity Force and Sword Shoes.
Yeah.
Jace has his Manamune completed. It's not a Muramana yet, but he's got Manamune Brutalizer, so the gated shock blasts are hitting pretty hard when you don't have a lot of armor to start with. Cho'Gath is at one of his strongest points in the game for damage. His damage does fall off eventually, but right now he's an incredibly strong mage because of that true damage, and I believe his row is fully stacked by now. 1 minute away from being fully stacked.
Very close. I mean, and that's just the thing. We were talking about earlier on, Jax was going to be the split pushing threat, was going to create a 1v1 and a 4v4. The issue is, to do that, that's under the assumption that Jax manages to, at a minimum, CS within the lane. He got zoned out by Canadian, he got killed by Canadian, he got his towers destroyed by Canadian. He's just not in this game anymore. Wang Sen, who's about the entire center of the composition of Tower Dive Gaming, didn't really show up this time around. After such a dominating performance against the Epic Memers, now he's not really showing up against Broken Sticks. I think that Canadian has had his number this entire time. He's continuing to do so, and now the split push just isn't real enough, so this 4v4 matchup doesn't even really matter, which creates a 5v5 matchup in which Canadian tips the scales right towards his team.
Yeah, no, I gotta feel like if the Fury bot lane's one of the best bot lanes in Edmonton, or at least in this tournament, then Canadian's probably one of the strongest top laners here as well. He's just played incredibly well, even on an unorthodox pick such as Cho'Gath.
And there's the engage, and it will first result in 2 deaths, one onto What Is Love and one onto that burst. Now Dynamic Theory trying to do some damage onto Cho'Gath. He will lose half of his health bar because of it. On the other side, we do have Atherin dealing tons of damage onto the side with his W, trying to get down the health bars of the carries, who will be enough to zone them completely out as the outer mid turret does go down. Pushing in towards the inner mid turret is the entire team of Broken Sticks. Janna off to the side because she is pretty low on health. TJ is going to use as many shields as he possibly can as the... Oh, the Jinx Rocket. That's what you get, boy. Dynamic Theory will pick up 1 kill in return, but after losing that many towers and now losing the gold lead, this is 100% in the hands of Broken Sticks, and there's not that much the majority of the players from Tower Dive can do about it.
No, there isn't a lot to do, and they're just going to have to wait this game out. There's still the chance to get Jax into a late game split pusher. It's just going to take a while. You still got Jinx, who's a great late game AD carry. That's just going to take a little while. You just got to wait it out here. Try to limit your losses by not engaging as much, and hopefully something will come out of it. Corky's managed to, Jinx had a 1,000 gold lead on Corky about 10 minutes ago. It's now almost dead even. PJ, 200 difference.
PJ does get it by the Q, but both Lee Sin's mind and body are still telling him no. So we will go in on that one. Atherin is actually doing quite well in the Kha'Zix, though he's not really showing it in the score. He's sitting at 1-2 and 2. He's been really relevant in every single team fight. He's constantly showing aggression. He's been a huge distraction. He's keeping Jinx zone, which is huge when you're looking at the Dynamic Theory bot. They are just doing so well, but TJ, not so much. Going to quickly go down to What Is Love. He's seeing it at 0-3 and 6. He's been doing all right so far, but that's the 3rd time now that Jinx has caught him off guard. And Dynamic Theory is trying to get every single one of those opportunities as quickly as possible. The Dragon is now started by the Tower Dive Gaming team. Y-Grid on the far side is going to use that power slam, but it's not going to be enough. Actually, it is as Atherin will smite away the dragon. A great bubble is going to lock up Canadian, but here goes Wang Sin. He's in all alone. He's got no health, and he's got no life, and he's probably going to die if he doesn't get saved by Lee Sin. Here on the other side, we do have Dynamic here trying to lock down Atherin as Y-Grid has to run away from What Is Love, who is going to try and slow down Y-Grid. But here comes Atherin once again, zoning completely away all of the carries as he now turns around to help a Canadian on the carries on the side. Quantic Theory trying to run away. He's going to get knocked up and go down. Atherin finally picking up another kill, making him 2-2 and 2. As Dynamic Theory is in a bit of a weird position, going to find Sammy. He's going to probably turn that around, but there is a lot of heals going right onto Sammy right in a few seconds. There's Atherin, and there's the power slam to pick that one up. What Is Love trying to get away from the Cho'Gath. He will just barely dodge out that knockup, and he will get away safely, but once again, Broken Sticks just dominating this game.
They're not listening. That's all I can say here. They got the dragon. That was beautiful. They did a great play getting the dragon. They had the Nami wave, disengaged them, and then they followed the Nami wave.
It speeds you up, though, dude. What else are you supposed to do?
You're inside of it. They were behind it, and they were following it. They never got into the wave. They didn't get to surf and ride that wave straight into the team. They just kind of slowly meandered their way to SBS, who's just too strong to fight right now.
Yeah, at this point, there's not that much that can be done against Broken Sticks. I mean, Wengsing is just not in this game. He's doing so well earlier today, and now he's just not been showing up. It's really unfortunate, but he looks like he's going to drop the ball one last time. No more dunks will be had. As Quankter even, he can't even get a decent amount of wards down. So he's going to get power slammed and killed very quickly by Canadian on Cho'Gath, who's done amazing so far this entire tournament. Lee Sin on the far side in the hands of what is love. He wants to get some engages. He's doing quite well. 3-4-1. He's had a consistent tournament. So there's not that much he can do in this series.
Yeah, no, it's just really great team fighting coming out from SBS. They recognize their strengths and they use them to their advantage. Oh, we've got a 6-1 and 3 Cho'Gath who's absolutely massive. Well, let's just put him in the front and tank everything. Oh, we got a 1-0 and 6 Corki, but yeah, I know it's advanced strats. But you got your 1-0-6 Corki with the Triforce. Let's just have him sit back and throw missiles at people. Well,
this is a very solo queue type team composition. I mean, you've got the damage-based jungle who's good at early ganks. You've got a high damage output ADC with decent amount of burst. You've got a very support-based support. Cho'Gath going full-blown tank, but still dominating his lane. I mean, if I could get this every single time I played in Plat solo queue, I'd be happy as a peach.
Yeah, no, it's great pickup for solo queue, but it's also a great pickup for team.
If you know how to put it together, and they've put it together
show that
so
they know how to do it.
Yeah.
They have the front. It's a very great poke composition, and that's what I was saying at the start. They have the massive damage that comes out of Jace and Corki from long range. They have a gigantic front line that is Cho'Gath. They've got the execution power from Kha'Zix to pick up the people that they drop low with that poke, and they've got Janna there to keep them safe out of distance and keep them healthy. Like, it is an incredibly well thought out and put together comp. And Tower Dive Gaming's composition isn't that bad either. They've got the Orianna and Nami to protect a Jinx while Jax goes and split pushes. It's one of the classic old comps. That's the old CLG composition. It's protect the double lift while Hotshot GG split pushes.
And it would work. I mean, Wengsing has done so well earlier on. I mean, Tower Dive Gaming, they won last time around. They are the defending champions, which are looking like they might about to be falling here. Wengsing is new to the team, but he's done so incredibly well. He's a great versatile player. He's exactly what you want to see. I think they made a very wise decision in switching over to him. And I think once he gets really really meshes with the team, they're going to work together and they're going to become an insane force and very well be taking out Broken Sticks next time around. But this time, this is absolutely Broken Sticks team. They've dominated the entire tournament. They've yet to lose, and it doesn't look like they're going to, as they've got the Baron. They're chasing it in through. The double bubble is not going to be enough to stop this rampage, as it does not do enough damage. Pushing the minions, I mean, this is going to be an inhibitor, and once that inhibitor falls, it could very quickly become game.
Yeah, no, I can't take anything away from Broken Sticks. I was questioning their game earlier against Epic Gamers. It wasn't that great. I guess they just hadn't woken up yet. They went to Mickey D's, got a Big Mac and some coffee, and suddenly they're one of the best teams out there.
Yeah, and Broken Sticks, I mean, they picked up their game absolutely. Tower Dive Gaming, maybe a little bit crippled by having a new top laner, but once he starts getting accumulated to the team, next time we see them, he is going to be a dominating force with the team. We just got to wait on that. What is love right now? Getting a little bit of juke action going. Canadian taking, I guess, as low as you've been gaining the Cho'Gath so far, so there's an achievement. Power Slam, gonna knock out half the Nami.
Shock Blast.
Is that what it is? Well, he yells Power Slam.
No, the Power Slam is the dunk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Shock Blast.
I'll take it. Shock Blast just misses. I just like when Jay says Power Slam, okay?
Yeah. Fair enough. I like it even better when Vi does it, because it's taunting Jace, but yeah.
Oh.
That's what she yells when she ults at Jace.
Yeah.
Hey Jace, power slam! But yeah. Anyways, there's no Vi's in this game, unfortunately. That would have been interesting to see what is love on Vi. I think he'd be a pretty good Vi.
Yeah, we haven't seen Vi at all this tournament, and she's definitely fallen out of the meta. And I mean, it's not too surprising. We're about to get our last fight here. There's the Nami wave, but it's not followed up. That's really unfortunate. That's a major bit of CC that is just thrown out there by Quantic Theory. Canadian in on the back line, is trying to get in and kill out What Is Love. He will get that so successfully. Double kill going over to Wygrid immediately on that Jace. He is just such a dominating force, taking out both Orianna and Nami. Is now Samuel diving the turret, takes out Dynamic Theory. This is going to be the game. It's not very climatic, but that is all that it takes, completely shutting out the entire tournament. Broken Sticks will be victorious here. Congratulations. They'll hopefully come back next month to defend their championship, and that will be it. 2-0 in the first best of 3. That's all that it takes.
Yeah, and don't take anything away from Tower Dive Gaming. They played really well. Didn't quite have enough this time, but look for them next tournament. They'll be incredibly good. As you said, get a little bit more synergy with Wang Sang. There was one questionable teleport when they had Cho'Gath teleport down to the dragon, and Jax followed him. I think leave the Jax in the top lane split pushing there. Don't have him teleport in. Give up that dragon, and you'll do a lot better. But outside of that, they've played very well. A couple questionable calls here and there in this series. The series before that, they played incredibly well. You can't take that away from them.
They did better against Epic Memers than Broken Six did. I think there's a little bit of a mental block against Broken Six. Maybe Canadian just has Wang Sing's number that badly that they really just can't rally against the top lane. But once he starts getting that synergy, as we were saying, with their jungler, as soon as What Is Love and Wang Sing really start working together as a group, they are going to dominate in these tournaments. And that's what we're looking for. And that's how they're going to return to being the top force in these matchups.
Yeah, no, like they've played really well. I'm really excited to see what they can do next. And I mean, I think the reason Epic Memers and SBS was a lot closer, maybe it was because SBS hadn't woken up yet, but I think it's just, to me, that's like the El Clasico match. That's the SK versus Fnatic of the Overclocked League. Right, those two teams have met so many times in these tournaments at the top level games of the finals of whatever, that you know it's going to be a good match. They both know exactly what the other team is going to do, so it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, I gotta admit, they've both played insanely well. Congratulations to both teams. Even bigger congratulations going over to Broken Six, going completely undefeated. They did a great job. I've got to still say, Dynamic Theory and Quantic Theory, by far the best bot lane we've seen this entire time. They destroyed every single game. They just kept on winning. No matter what kind of situation their lane was in, they managed to pull through, and they were always the cornerstone, which could have brought their team the victory. Congratulations, though, to Samuel, TJ, Wygrid, Canadian, and Athrun. You're the current holding victors, and that was going to be it for us.
Yeah, no, great tournament. Thanks for having us.
All right, so that's it for the Edmonton Open this week. Congratulations to Stanford's Broken Sticks. We will be out, and that's going to be the end of the cast. Thank you all for joining us.